Alright, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson coming at you for fight review. So we're going all the way to Auckland, New Zealand for UFC on ESPN Plus number 26, Felder versus Hooker, aka UFC Auckland, New Zealand. We're going to the strawweight division. Karolina Kowalkiewicz coming in at 12-5, taking on Yan Xiaonan coming in 11-1. Very much looked forward to this fight. So round one, they come out. Exchanged low kicks to start things off, but the two quickly started trading punches. Yan come forward with several flurries of strikes, and then Kowalkiewicz started favoring her right eye early. Must have gotten hurt one of the first few, probably within the first 30 seconds, I think. KK threw a spinning back fist, but ate a few punches for her efforts. And then Yan strikes forced KK to tie up and look for a takedown, but then Yan tripped her instead. Yan was stacking KK in the guard. KK went for an armbar attempt, but Yan got out of it and let her stand. Kowalkiewicz swiped at her eye more as Yan pressured forward with strikes. Hip toss by Yan in the final minute, and then she stood over Kowalkiewicz to land some really thundering low kicks to the thighs of Kowalkiewicz. Between the rounds, apparently Kowalkiewicz was telling her corner she couldn't see. And then the referee, before the start of the second round, brought in a doctor. And then she straight up told the doctor, "I'm fine, I can see." And doctor said, well, she can see good enough to continue. So, okay. I mean, let's just straight up lie to the doctor, right? Second round, Yan immediately targeted the right eye of KK with combinations. KK fired back and managed to bloody the nose of Yan. And then Yan started timing her punches for when KK was swiping at her eye. So every time KK put her hand up near her eye, started rubbing at it a little bit, that's when Yan knew she was vulnerable, went on the attack. A Yan kick to the body followed by punch combos to the head. A nice tie-up by KK along the fence. She went for a single leg that was successfully resisted by Yan. And then a trip by Yan, but then she immediately let Kowalkiewicz stand back up. Very Sanda style. Kowalkiewicz threw another spinning back kick that missed and allowed Yan to grab her for a body lock takedown. Yan got to north-south, threw some strikes at Kowalkiewicz, but then again let Kowalkiewicz stand back up. Several more exchanges to finish out the round as Yan continued to walk through Kowalkiewicz's counters. Okay. Third round, Yan started to mix her side kick with her punches to start. A body shot hurt Kowalkiewicz, and Yan tried to pour it on. KK, lasted long enough to circle out. Kowalkiewicz again whiffed on a spinning back kick, ate several punches, and a kick to the face. And that was a nasty kick to the face, too. Kowalkiewicz tied up, and Yan tripped her down. So then Kowalkiewicz attacks Yan for a heel hook, or ankle lock. Got her stretched out, and then the two started basically punching at each other. Yan in order to resist, and Kowalkiewicz just punching her back while holding on to the leg lock to try to get Yan off of her so that she could work on the leg lock some more. Kowalkiewicz kept the lock on Yan's leg as Yan attempted to stand. Very nice. She basically did a triangle lock around the left leg of Yan. Kowalkiewicz tried for a guillotine, but let it go, keeping a triangle lock on Yan's leg. Of course, Yan was going for a ground and pound whenever possible. Then Kowalkiewicz goes for the heel hook again and actually ended the fight on top. I think she spent the last 8 to 10 seconds on top after grabbing that heel of Yan. So the fight went to the judges, and all three saw it 30-26 for Yan Xiaonan. I think they all three gave the first round a 10-8 to Yan Xiaonan. So your winner by unanimous decision, of course, Yan Xiaonan, who goes by 9 for whatever reason now, used to go by Fury. Okay, so things to work on. For Yan, I'd like to see her develop a jab. Way too often, She leads with the right power punch, and way too often, even in this fight, she was whiffing on it. She goes up against someone who's a really effective counter puncher and can counter effectively, and that's going to hurt her. So I think if she were to develop a nice jab and use that more, it'd make her power strikes even more powerful, more scary. I'd also like to see her work on a ground defense. I think she got exposed a little bit on the ground. Because when you're fighting off a leg lock by someone who's not known for their prowess on the ground, and you're busy fighting off a heel hook or an ankle lock, it's just not a good look. So she kind of got exposed a little bit on the ground there by Kowalkiewicz. For Kowalkiewicz, retirement. I mean, really, that's all there is to this. As someone who's followed her since her fights in, KSW in Poland, as someone who's followed her career that long, it's time for her to call it quits. I think this is what, her fourth or fifth loss in a row. Fourth loss in a row. She had 2 wins before that, but then had 2 losses before that. So out of her last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out of her last 8 fights, she's lost 6 of them. It's just time to retire. I mean, obviously, you know, the mind is willing, the heart's still there, but the body is just deteriorating. I mean, her body is basically just not there anymore for her to fight with. I mean, she's slowed down, she's slower, her strikes have even less pop to them than they used to. She just doesn't have it there anymore physically. And I think at this point she just needs to retire. It'd be the best option for her. I mean, she got to fight for the title once, put up a good fight there, wobbled Joanna. She'll always be remembered for that. But at this point, it's just time to retire. I mean, don't be like, you know, cannon fodder for these young up-and-comers. As for fights to make, so for Yan, she's now number 11 according to the UFC rankings. A couple options. I'd like to see her fight possibly Marina Rodriguez. Neither of them are the youngest of fighters. I mean, Yan's 30, Rodriguez is already 32. Time for these two to really see what their striking's all about. Neither of them have been facing the best of competition to get to where they are right now. Rodriguez's best win is the 4th straight loss of Tecia Torres, whereas Yan's best win is the 4th straight loss of Karolina Kowalkiewicz. So I think just have these two face off and see who really deserves their spot. Or alternatively, Yan could face the winner of Esparza versus Waterson. Now that fight has been at least postponed, possibly canceled. If it gets rescheduled in the future, I'd like to see her face off against the winner of those two, possibly. And then, as I said earlier, for Karolina Kowalkiewicz, retirement. She's talked about, you know, wanting a family. Just go do it. I don't want to see her get beat up anymore. As a fan, you hate to see your favorite fighters just get beat up. You hate to see them deteriorate. And nobody likes to see fighters they like who just refuse to quit, who just refuse to admit when it's time to quit. For Kowalkiewicz, as a fan, it's time for her to quit. Okay, so that's my thoughts on this fight. It was about as bad as I was hoping it wouldn't be, as far as Kowalkiewicz just getting beat up. You know, one thing I didn't mention earlier is that, you know, she got a broken orbital in the first round. First round, her eye got messed up, and she fought like that. And she had to stay in Singapore extra longer so she could get, or not Singapore, in New Zealand. She had to stay longer so that she could get eye surgery because she couldn't fly home. When you're taking that kind of damage, you definitely should be considering retirement. So that's one final note I want to have on this fight. Let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. Of course, likes are always appreciated. And hey, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. Be a lot cooler if you did. And we'll see you next time.